Okay, so my guest is Ghanaian, born and bred, but she is based in the UK, and she comes from a long line of creative women. As a consummate creative, her loves are creating beautiful things with her hands and cooking, and also helping women in her sphere of life to recover from the emotional ravages of life through empowering conversations. She has a very powerful testimony of resilience and faith, which talks to the kind of strength women have to possess in this world. As our proverb said, a woman's strength is a multitude of words.
Thank you.
How are
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm well. By God's grace. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the first for me. It's the first time I'm having a Zoom interview on the Arts Africa show. So it's a first. Usually when we start the show, we like to find out, I think what you read gives an indication of, who you are as a person. And, it gives us a little peek into, your reading habits. Now tell me, does anybody call you JJ?
Loads of people call me JJ.
Oh,
yes.
So can I also call you JJ?
Fire away. Yes,
okay.
You can.
Okay, so JJ, welcome to the show once again. And
thank you.
What are you going to read for us?
I'm going to read a poem by Maya Angelou called Continue.
Okay.
Yes. So can I?
Yes, please.
Can I take it away?
Yes, you can. We're all
I love this poem so much. And it goes, in a world which needed you, my wish for you is that you continue. Continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness. Continue to allow humor to lighten the burden of your tender heart. Continue in a society dark with cruelty to let the people hear the grandeur of God in the peals of your laughter. Continue to let your eloquence elevate the people to heights they had only imagined. Continue to remind the people that each is as good as the other and that no one is beneath nor above you. Continue to remember your own young years and look with favor upon the lost and the least and the lonely. Continue to put on the mantle of your protection around the bodies of the young and defenseless. Continue to take the hand of the despised and diseased and walk proudly with them in the high street. Some might see you and be encouraged to do likewise. Continue to plant a public kiss of concern on the cheek of the sick and the aged and infirm, and count that as a natural action to be expected. Continue to let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer, and let faith be the bridge you build to overcome evil and welcome good. Continue to ignore no vision which comes to enlarge your range and increase your spirit. Continue to dare to love deeply and risk everything for the good thing. Continue to float happily in the sea of infinite substance, which set aside riches for you before you had a name. Continue, and by doing so, you and your work will be able to continue eternally. Thank you.
Wow. That's amazing, because normally whenever people mention Maya Angelou, there's certain types of poem, you keep on hearing the same one being repeated. This is the first time I've actually heard this, and it's really, really powerful. I love the risk everything for the good thing. I think it's amazing. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
What does that mean to you?
It means everything. It means everything. It means that we are all interconnected in one way or the other. You see, I see humility here. I see kindness here. I see leaving a legacy here. I see having a big spirit, a very generous spirit here. I see giving of yourself to people you don't know. I see reaching a hand to younger people and extending, something that you've got to give. I see being protective. I see everything. That's the essence of the life we're here to live. And I think it embodies so much. I see faith here, and I see foresight here. And so it means everything. I think it embodies the life that we're here to live. That our life is not meant to be insular, but it's meant to be bigger than just we and our nuclear family. That's what it means to me.
Yeah, and it's something that I think as society we need to use to in our march forward, because all the things that she mentioned, the contrary is happening too often now. And we need that. We need that. Thank you so much for that. I saw you bopping your head along to the music. You're enjoying that, weren't you?
Yes, yes, I was.
I also saw you bop into the previous one by Hamza. Breathing. Yeah.
I was a bit nervous at that time.
Okay. I really do like that type of music that's coming out of it's UK, but it's UK, Africa, and I really like a lot of that music coming out. So I'm glad you're also enjoying that. Okay, let's get our conversation on the road. What is a consummate creative? And give us the gamut of what you do as a creative.
Okay, so I'm one of those people who bubble with ideas on the inside to make things. So my main area, my bread and butter is making clothes for people, occasional wear. But I do when I say I'm a consummate creative, I'm creative in the kitchen. I do crafts. I do, name it. I have so many things dotted around this house, picture frames, flower vases, customizing them. Just recently, I made bags for some people for funeral souvenirs. I customized it, anything and everything. I make jewelry, I make accessories, like this brooch is made by me. The cuffs are detachable.
Oh, nice.
You can see them. I'm not sure if everybody else, but they are not, so I can put it on any outfit that I want to, and it's not even part of this.
Like you can just so you can have something very simple and
come again.
I said, so you can have something very simple and then just dress it up with all the
exactly, just layer it, and even my promo picture and all of that is just a basic long sleeve t-shirt, and I just layered it with these accessories.
So what do you call those things around your wrist? What's the name?
They are cuffs. They are cuffs,
Okay, detachable cuffs.
So they're detachable cuffs, yes. And you can put it on any, like you see, I'm taking it off. You can put it on anything. Yes. And I make them in different colors. They're on my online store.
What is that made of? It looks like feathers or something.
Yes, it's got bits of feathers on it as well, Yeah. And so it gives a very, like this blouse is 11 years old, it's a very old blouse I just knock about with. And so just doing this, gives it a wow factor, brings some vavavoom to it.
And upscale it.
Even though I'm a dressmaker, I don't make a lot of things for myself. And I like changing, and I like to have the, the blank canvas, and then I layer things on. So I can change. I look different every time. Yeah. I repeat my clothes a lot. I've said it. Yes, I do.
Like everybody else. Funnily enough, I was just watching, before I came to the studio, I was watching a video with Tiffany Haddish, and there's a particular dress that she keeps on repeating. I think she's repeated it like 7 or 8
I've seen that dress.
And, I think, why not? If it's something you like, and then and in your case, you can always change the look of it by the way you accessorize a piece. So,
exactly.
So it's always a different something. Okay, so tell us about your background and the creativity that runs through your genes.
I come from a long line of creatives in different ways. So my grandfather is Kim Bruce, and he's one of the founding fathers of high life music.
Oh, wow.
His older brother is Teacher Thompson, who did the song Mienyanyo Koigbe Kumile Mile. He's the firstborn. My grandfather is the lastborn. My grandmother was a milliner. She makes hats. She used to manage a shop in this UK, Mitzi Lorraine, wedding hats and all those things. My mother was a fashion designer as well.
Okay.
My aunt, everybody, my mom's sister, the one who comes after her, is also very, very talented dressmaker, especially in the area of children's clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought I'll toe that line, but somehow I did. And it wasn't planned. I just knew that I had it in me. And whilst I was waiting to go to university, I just tried, and I never helped my mother or anything when she was running her business. She was very successful back in her day. And somehow, I think I made an outfit for vacation classes, a jumpsuit. And I have a friend called Eileen, and she loved it so much. She said she wanted one. And I thought, I'm onto something here. And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
I've done this for about 30 years now. I took a break to bring up my children.
But not all in the UK. Obviously, you started.
No. Oh gosh, I started in Ghana.
Yes.
And in Ghana, I grew, from just me doing it. At the point at which I left Ghana, I think I had about between 10 and 14 workers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. At a point in time, I was teaching people. I was making clothes for. At a point, I was making clothes for the who is who of Accra. I mean, the creme de la creme of Accra, name it.
Wow.
And I was very fortunate to have, that kind of clientele. I feel so blessed. And because of that, I am connected with a whole lot of people because of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then what took you to the UK?
Love.
Okay. It wasn't. I thought you were going to say because I was going to go to so and so fashion school to
No, actually no. I was the trip was about the initial trip during which I met my husband was going to Italy. So this is it. Every time I wore like sandals and slippers and all of that, my clients would say they're so beautiful. And I used to just sketch sandals and shoes and stuff like that. So I decided one time that I wanted to go to Italy and find a factory, a small factory that will make me my own small leather goods. Mm-hmm. And so I arranged with a relative of mine, and I came over and we went, and I found that factory.
Who's the we?
And I found it. Come again?
Who's the we?
Sorry?
You said we went. I said who?
No, my cousin. I said I arranged with a cousin, relative of mine. And so I came to the UK, and then we went together to Italy.
Okay.
And we found a factory in Naples, small factory, family factory. And they did very beautiful things, and they were going to give me a very good deal. Mm-hmm. And I met my husband on that trip.
Aha.
And the direction of my life changed.
That sounds like some whirlwind romance, huh?
I tell you, it was. It was at the time.
Like that, yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, a lot of people watch all these telenovelas and they see stuff like that and wish it would happen to them in real life. And, to meet people who it does happen to is amazing. It's amazing.
But unfortunately, he's now my ex-husband after 11 years.
Well, that's also good. I mean, hey.
No, but this is the way I see it. I have 3 lovely sons. Uh-huh. I'm blessed. I had a good marriage, although it ended. So I went through a hard time with all of that, but I'm not bitter. We're very amicable and all of that. So life goes on. Yes.
I also think for the children, it's the best way to be, because obviously your relationship with their father broke, but their relationship with him didn't ever break,
Yes. And the way I see it is that when you live with somebody for 11 years and they weren't bad to you, and at the end of the 11 years, they did something terrible, we should be able to separate that And also we should be able to forgive.
Yes.
And so, yes.
And then
separate that. Remember what he was on a day-to-day basis, right? And separate that and forgive and move on. And forgiveness is for ourselves and not for the other.
Yes. And like, as going back to the poem you read by Maya Angelou, you just got to continue and find the best.
Exactly.
So, you do, okay. So then so you've gone to Naples, you found this family-run factory, they do beautiful products for you, you fell in love, and then what happened?
I can't give you the nitty-gritty of it all, but
I understand.
I spent some time, I got married, I settled in the UK, okay. I had to close down my business in Ghana, because my business is me. Although I had a lot of workers working for me, I'm the face of the business. And this kind of thing is, is very personal.
Yeah.
So I had to close that down. I went to university here and studied education. I went to fashion school as well.
Okay.
I learned a lot more things because, like I said, I never went to fashion school. But when I decided that I was going to do this, my mother realized how serious I was, and she poured everything into me. She was in Paris Academy.
Okay.
And she gave me all her textbooks. And I would turn clothes inside out and look at them and see how they were made. I was hungry, to do it and do it good.
Yeah.
And so
and then
that's the way it went.
And then also having all the history as well through your grandparents and your mother, and actually getting all her textbooks, that must have been phenomenal. So I read you.
And
yes, I'm listening.
And I must say, I was very blessed because my mom had done this for years. She handed me all her industrial machines, industrial cutter. She gave me the goodwill. People just had to say, my mom is called Miss Y. People would just have to say, oh, that's Miss Y's daughter. And I got that goodwill and that trust. And it opened the doors for me. So I got a lot of clients, on the back of her name. And that made it quite easy, to set up.
Yes, to set up, but then obviously to continue is another thing because you can't just ride on the goodwill forever.
Oh, I grafted. I worked hard. And
so I read you have the Jacqui Johnson atelier.
Yes.
So that was
atelier.
So that's your second wind, wasn't it?
It's just, yes. An atelier is just a fancy word for studio. You know how we romanticize everything that has to do with French.
Oh, but it's nice. It's nice.
It's like a craftsman's studio,
Yes.
An artisan's workroom. That's it. Yes.
So what is that about, and what makes it different because obviously in the UK, fashion, there's a lot of competition, there's a lot of stuff going on. What do you do? How do you make yourself different from?
Yeah, so this is the way I see things. Basically what I bring to the table is not just my sewing skill, my personality as well. And if you come to me to sew, you bring you come to me to sew, you can just give me a phone call and tell me, Jacqui, I'm going here and I'm going there. And I'll give you a whole consultation. You want to look good based on your figure and based on where you're going, I'll create that mood board for you, your color scheme. And I know what I really know how to do is conceal your bad parts and enhance your good parts. And so I understand the female body, So if you have a long torso and it's very, very obvious, I know how to craft your outfit to make your torso look even, Yeah. If you have big arms and you feel like you're broad, there's a way that we can construct that. I can construct that outfit and you'll make your top look, slimmer and all of that. And I bring a good chat to the table.
Yes.
There's never a boring moment with me. And a lot of the outfits that you find in the shops, they are cut to pattern sizes.
Yes.
And as you know, especially we Black women, we're voluptuous, around our hips. So people can buy clothes, but I have clients who never, when they're going out proper, they will never buy clothes. They'll buy their jeans, their shirts, their t-shirt, but if they have to really step out and go somewhere, it has to be custom.
Yeah. And then I suppose once you give them that whole service, the consultation, the beautiful outfit, the great chat when they come, then they become repeat customers, don't they? So it's never like a one-off.
Yes, and it's also it's also a full service. Assuming you're going to a wedding, I do millinery as well. I do fascinators. I make hats and all that because I picked that from my brand. So you can come here and it's a one-stop shop.
But which of all those skills do you think is your core thing?
I mean clothes, yeah, and now accessories. Yes,
clothes and accessories. So you've already given us a little bit. So like just the process. So I've heard about you, and I come to you. How does the consultation take place? What are the things?
Okay, so right now I do a lot of virtual consultations because I get business from Instagram. So I do a lot of virtual consultations from all over the world. We're on lockdown, so that has slowed down.
Yes.
But basically from, making first contact and you tell me what you want. What we're going to do first is I establish it. Okay, so you've called me. I have a link. You book a consultation. It's about 40 minutes. And then we'll have a video conference. We'll do measurements. We'll talk about what you want. And we'll talk about price points. Because sometimes somebody wants something and they've shown me a picture. But you can do it in different levels. Let's say she showed me a lace outfit. You can see the same lace, especially now with all that is, we can order custom fabrics from China now. So you see that lace outfit and you know that if they want it at a higher level, it's all the same way you're seeing it with all the beading and everything, you can get that. You can also get it with sandy grit in the fabric so that it's not actually beads, but it looks, it's got something like the sandy and it's all been stuck to look like the embroidery. And so that is definitely cheaper. So we'll talk about different price points. And then I send them an email to show them a measurement chart to show them how they're going to take the measurements. And then we do it. We do it via video. And I show you the exact steps. And most of my clients now have said, good Lord, they didn't know they could take their measurements. They've struggled with this so much. And I talk them through it and I demonstrate and they do it. It doesn't matter where you are.
Okay.
And for those who are overseas, I do it and I post it. If you're here and you want to fit, you come to, I have a shop here. And so you come, we make an appointment and you come and fit.
So imagine, say I was in London. So we've done our video chat. You've sent me the how to measure myself and everything. We've talked the price points, the material, everything. Then I send it back to you, and then what happens?
The first step is that you just you have to transfer that money to me before we start, and then once the money hits my account, I give you the date.
Okay. And on average, say if I were getting an outfit for a wedding, going to, I don't know, my cousin's wedding, on average, how far in advance would I have to come to you?
Right now, since we're locked down, it's not so busy. So 3 weeks, 3 weeks to a month.
But pre-lockdown, it was how long?
It could be up to 6 weeks.
Okay. So you need to get to you quickly.
Yes.
Okay. So I've paid you. then what? You construct it and then I come for a fit-in? Or?
Yes. And because I do, like I said, long distance, I find ways of, I have a mannequin that I adjust the sizing on that mannequin so that as much as possible. Touch wood, I haven't had any returns from overseas yet, and I hope I won't. But I do the sizing and everything very well, and then I send it.
And then that's it. They've got their
That's
outfit.
it.
Excellent. What's the competition like? Or you have your niche and what?
Honestly, I don't know, but I don't think even in Ghana, where a lot of people were sewing, I didn't really feel the competition because I think I have something that's unique to me. So, and I believe there's something there for everybody. I mean, there is no one that I know right now in the UK that I'll say this is my direct competition. I think we all have our different, yes.
And then
we all have our different strengths and all that.
And you come with all the add-ons because you have the accessories and,
And also, I honestly don't know what it is about me, but I believe it's filtered into my purpose. People come to me to sew, and normally people come to me to sew, and they end up, pouring their heart to me, and so they end up getting encouragement and getting a shoulder to cry on if there's a need, and getting motivation. And that has happened for 30 years. Okay. So that feeds into what I believe is my purpose.
Okay.
Which I would like to, in my, what do you call it? In my intro, my promotional video, yes. I said
I wanted to just jump in there.
An enthusiast, yes. I'll leave you to get there.
So I was coming to that, about, I saw your video on Facebook or your testimonial on Facebook. And then I also read that, and it says, and very close to my heart is helping women in my sphere of life recover from the emotional ravages of life through empowering conversations. And that's what you were just going to get to, right?
Yeah.
Is this based on when I watched your video, I thought, damn, people really go through it. I mean, it felt like a journey through hell. And that.
Oh, my testimony.
Yes. And
okay, yeah.
And it felt like my proverb today was, a woman's strength is a multitude of words. And I thought that was it. That the amount of resilience and faith that you needed to get through that just sounded like superhuman, to be honest.
And that's just one of 7 testimonies I plan sharing. That's just one.
Yes, but that was pretty, whoa.
Yeah, that was grim. Yeah.
Yeah. What happened to you? Why do you think it happened? How do you think it shaped your creativity?
I don't think it's affected my creativity adversely, but it's rather ushered me into what I believe is my purpose. So look at it this way. I started sewing when I'm 19 years old. Women who are much older than me, I wasn't married. By 20 years old, people who are much older than me come and make clothes, and then they end up offloading onto me. I remember there was once that this lady, very well accomplished, very well known, socialite in Accra, intelligent, she's in the law profession. She was at that time. And, she makes so many clothes. So one time she was fitting, and I said to her, oh my goodness, wait here, I said it in tree that, oh my goodness, you are going to just blow your hubby away. And she just stopped in her tracks, blinked her eye, and she said, he wouldn't even see it if I was wearing an armor. And she is so accomplished. I mean, when you look at her and her dress sense and everything, and I regretted saying that because she tried like 5 outfits and every one of them, she was so snatched in them and all of that. And, when she said that, I regretted saying something. But then she opened the floodgates and she poured and she said, have you ever even seen me with my husband in the same car before? It's almost like he's embarrassed of me, blah, blah, blah. And I've tried so many times. I do this for me. I wear my beautiful clothes for me. It makes me feel good and all of that. And it's been, this has been the story. For some people, is spousal betrayal. For other people, is, sisters and, serious rifts, jealousy. For other people, it's even work-related or their children. But it always fell in my lap. And I came to the conclusion that when people can strip before you and they can be vulnerable in front of you, then they can, share their deepest and their darkest pains with you. And I remember at one point my mom telling me that, Jacqui, I think you actually should go and learn, study counseling or something and open another business because people take so much of your time. And I couldn't, if somebody is pouring their heart out to me, I couldn't just say, you know what, I've got to leave you, I'm going to work. So sometimes I'll bring them in to my cutting table, close to my cutting table, and then we'll have what we call a two-man whilst I'm still working. And that's what it's been. But me falling ill like that and me going through what the decade that I've been through give me such resilience and empathy for people. Because before, when I listen to you, I'm like, yeah, fine. But now I knew what it was. When I went through this past 10 years, from 2011 to 2020, I began to understand. I could put myself in people's shoes to see. Because name it, I've encountered it.
And what do you think got you through it? What are the things that got you through it?
First of all,
from your support,
it's my faith. And secondly, the amazing supportive family and friends who have woven nets of love and support around me. My family has been there. I remember there were times that I couldn't even sleep. There were times that I couldn't sleep. And I would wake up in the middle of the night and cry because I've just been dealing with a broken heart. And I've just been dealing with betrayal on another level from a father figure in my life. And then, I became ill as well. And every day I was just hoping that, when I wake up the next day, the sun will be shining and it will be beautiful. I was hoping for a miracle, and it didn't happen. And then the next day, and then the next day. But I had my family, my mom, my aunts, my 2 aunts in Ghana, another aunt here, and some very good friends. But I remember, sleeping in the same bedroom with my aunt, and I wake up around 1 a.m. and I just start crying. I can't sleep again. And she would just tap me and say, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. We're praying with you, Because I felt like the challenges were too much. But, once after crying and calling on God and petitioning heaven so much, then I say to myself, I know that God has never let me down yet, I mean, for instance, I encountered 2 armed robberies back to back. And at the point at which I had a gun to my head, and this other guy had a machete and he was banging on my car bonnet, I felt I was finished. But then something rose up in me And I knew that there is no way myself, my mother, and my last born will be butchered in our own home. No, it can't happen. And I just said to God, even if it means you are going to levitate me and my family out of this car, I know you will do it. And I know I'm not going to be dead here. That is not my portion. And lo and behold, they stopped the attack. It's long. And they went away. 3 months later, I had another armed robbery attack with a gun to my head again.
Wow.
And I'm still here to tell the story.
That's traumatic.
Very traumatic, very. There was a point in my life I was afraid of my shadow. I was afraid of the dark. Once I was in Ghana. Once it's 5:36, the curtains had to close because I could just see the face of this guy who had a gun to my head for what seemed like eternity, you know. And when he decided to shoot, he took it from my head and shot into the back of the car. My youngest son was there. He shot all over the back of the car and not one single bullet hit him.
Wow.
What do you call that?
That's
For me,
miracle.
nobody can tell me that there isn't God. Nobody can tell me that there are no miracles, you know?
That's a huge miracle.
Yeah, you can't tell me. And I always say I'm unkillable. The day I die is the time that God has meant for me to go. Because, you know, I'm not a gangster, but I've been at the barrel of a gun twice in my life. And there was a time in 2018, I just walked I live in a very safe area in London. I just walked out and somebody walked to me like he wanted directions. So I thought he wanted directions. I just started giving, you know, listening to him. And then he brought a knife out and asked me, do I want this in my face? He was standing like a yard away from me. I screamed and shouted, and there was a group of teenage boys on their bikes around. You know, when they say teenage boys, you know, black teenage boys are up to no good. That day, they saved me.
They were up to
when the guy brought out the knife and I screamed and started shouting. There were like 14 of them. They rushed to the scene. The guy went in one direction, I went in another, and I called the police, and he was arrested. But he had this knife. It was a little knife, but right in my face.
Yeah, because you keep on hearing about knife crimes in the UK.
Yeah, but there wasn't, I mean, this. So I'm like, once again, God has spared my life. So you see how
and taken you
the resilience comes in.
Yeah. That's just absolutely amazing. And so you've discovered your purpose. Will you take your mother's advice and actually go and train?
I'm on the path already.
Yeah.
So I created a program called the Rose Garden. It's a six-week program that helps women build emotional and mental resilience. At the moment, I volunteer with a charity, one of the biggest charities in the UK, and we are beta testing it, the program, because they have their end users. A lot of their end users are women.
Okay.
And so myself in the coaching department of that organization are working on it and packaging it to test it on them. So I also understudy the coaches there, you know, so see what they're doing. And only last week I had a meeting with the head coach, and she just said, Jacqui, you are a coach at heart, you know. And we had a session, something to do with the Rose Garden, and she just went, you know what? I feel like I owe you money. And I said, why? And she said, because you've given me a session. I feel, you know, I haven't told you what my problem is, but we've talked, and I feel so calm, and I feel like you've addressed some issues and given me some tools. And so I feel like I owe you money. And she said, all you need is the certification on paper, which for me, gave me a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling, because I don't see myself, you know, as a resilience coach or anything. But
really?
I see myself as an enthusiast, you know. I see myself as somebody who can, if you gave me a few minutes with you now and we talked, I see myself as somebody who can really lift you up and give you a few tools.
I think you're doing a disservice to yourself by saying you're an enthusiast.
You think so?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, you have the kind of experience that nobody can go and learn in a school or a degree course or whatever. You've lived it and you've come out. And I mean, you're not an enthusiast. You're not an enthusiast.
Probably, maybe it's imposter syndrome. Maybe it's because I have not had the certification yet. So that's why.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why, yes.
Yeah, well, I think the experience you've had totally does a piece of paper with some writing on it that says, yeah, you know. So, we have my people here keep on sending me notes. The Alba, we're getting to that time where we need to wrap up. I want to come back to the fashion. I would like you to give us 3 fashion tips to make the best out of our wardrobe.
Okay. I think everybody should have a basic capsule collection. So very basic things that, once you add other things to it can work. So maybe a pair of, I always say, a little black dress. A little black dress. I know back in the day in Ghana, black used to be for funerals. I think that has changed. A little black dress is a classic. A pair of good fitting trousers. I would say black or some neutral color like navy blue, if that's your thing, or a dark brown. A pair of a very nice crisp white shirt, which you can, wear and have a lovely scarf or a brooch over. Wear a scarf or have a brooch, or wear your blazer under it. I also believe that we should dress appropriately for the weather in which we are. So wherever you are, if it's a very hot place, I believe you should have very nice, lightweight, neutral stuff like cottons and linens, in very simple, elegant dresses that you can layer on. And I also believe in mixing and matching, so mixing and matching so that you're, you are not limiting. Assuming you have a skirt suit, you don't just limit it to that. You have a navy blue skirt suit. At another point in time, instead of just wearing with a white shirt, you can wear it with a polka dot, red and white polka dot tank top, or you can wear it with even yellow. I like to go, outlandish with colors that people don't think. And I'm not talking about crazy, but, things that you don't even think that people do, and it comes out really beautifully. The second thing I would say is that I think we should always look at our physique when we're dressing. We shouldn't just dress because it's trendy. Yeah. We should wear what suits us. I, for one, I like to believe that I'm not trendy. I don't have to wear things that are on trend if they don't look good on me. Yeah. I like to wear things that suit me and I think we should also have our own style. So wear things that are appropriate for your body and have your own style, your own signature style. Yeah. It's nicer to be unique than follow the crowd, honestly.
Definitely. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, one, I have to thank you very, very much for your time, for sharing all this amazingness with us on the Arts Africa show. We are coming to the end of the show, and you actually brought a track, Adom by Diana Hamilton. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my outro, and then we will finish the show with your contribution to the playlist. Does that work? Does that work? So
yes. Adom speaks to me a lot. Oh. It says I don't look like what I've been through. And like you saw my testimony. You saw how deformed I was in that video. Yeah. And and how I am now. So the way she says, I don't look like what I've been through and everything. She's singing my song. That's my jam.
Excellent. Okay, people. So you've just heard Jacqui Johnson here. And yes, she came on. We were going to talk about clothing and accessories, but look where the conversation went. And I know that everybody got something great from that. So, Jacqui, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful, if that's a word, and helping.
Can I just say one thing?
Say it.
Real quick. I just want to share this, that, in life, when we want to gain muscles, we go to the gym. Yeah. When we want to gain knowledge, we get educated in school. When we want to build resilience, it's only life. When we go through the school of hard knocks, life, that's when we build resilience. Nobody can build resilience from a book. So when we're going through something, let's not say, why me? Let's say, what's this supposed to teach me?
Yeah.
Because the moment you go that way and you learn the lesson, it's almost like a ledge. You go one step higher and very little can faze you. And then when something happens again, you go one step higher. And you know what? You can share with other people. Yeah. When we go through difficulties and challenges and we share it with other people, we normalize it for them, those who are now coming through it, and make them know that they are not alone.
Yes. Definitely. Because we always need, you go through a situation and you think you're the only one going through it, but
yes, you will. And sometimes you think that's it. It's so dark. You think this will finish you, probably mentally, emotionally, or even physically if it's an ailment.
But when you meet somebody who's been,
when you know that somebody has been there and they triumphed, they went through it.
Yeah.
For me, I say I'm lending you courage. Yeah. By sharing my story, I lend courage and hope to others.
Excellent. That is an absolutely wonderful place to draw the curtain on today's show. Once again, Jacqui, thank you very much. A big thanks to AB and Danny, my behind-the-scenes technicians who made sure all of this went well. Okay, we started a bit late, but once they got it going, they got it going. So people, we are on AfricaGlobalRadio.com.